today I find some sunshine. Nah, kid. It's Oasis. I find some artwork. I play with the cameras as well. And I admire the English countryside in the DLC pack, West Somerset. And I go full throttle. Ah yeah, I decided to have a sunny day. All the ones I've played so far have been pretty cloudy and sort of dull looking. This is part of the DLC pack, and it might be quite a long video, this one, because I'm just gonna do a lot. I've failed it a few times as well. Right at the end, one of the stations that you've got to stop at actually sort of sneaks up on you. Anyway, that's beside the point. At least I kind of learned how to use the train, and I've also learned how to use the brakes a bit better, but I'm not sure that I understand. I'll put the wipers on as well by accident then. Mind you, that's on the D-pad, because remember I'm doing it on the Xbox. I'm using the controller. When you lock the doors, it's left on the, well, you hold left on the D-pad, and if you only touch it, like just press it, it sets the windscreen wipers off. Just have a look round. Minehead. Yeah, again, as you're moving, the graphics kind of look blurry, and there's a collectible over there. I don't normally bother with that sort of thing. If I want making a video to put on for people to watch, I would never have bothered with that. It just doesn't interest me at all. But it obviously, it's up to you if you like them. I just don't usually waste my time with that sort of thing. You can hear your feet on the gravel. Yeah, it looks quite nice. It'll look nice on a smaller display like your phone or iPad or something like that, but like I've said before, on the when you're actually playing it and you're moving, like I'm moving here, it's quite blurry, and then you stop and everything seems to come into focus. I don't think it's like that on the PC. Maybe, I'm just not sure. I can see it a little bit on this software that I'm using to edit this video and narrate over it, the blurriness. But then again, the little window that I'm looking in, it's probably like looking at a phone screen on my computer screen, if you know what I mean. It's like a little box. Anyway, I'm gonna get the train going. The schedule's quite tight. It might not seem like it is, but I think I'm late on everything. And I also noticed that I've actually started off with quite a lot of XP before I've actually done anything. I'm not sure why that is. I haven't worked that out yet. Because it's still good. I thought at one stage it might be that I'd already done the scenario up to a certain point and completed bits of it. You know, as far as the computer's concerned, I've completed bits of it. So he's just gone up again there. Full throttle here. Sounds quite nice. Yeah. Obviously I've had to turn that down a little bit, otherwise you've got a bit of my fantastic narration. But I play with cameras a little bit more as well. I'm already speeding. And also I've noticed that there's you can tell what the gradient is. Well, I've noticed it before, but I've been taking more notice of it this time. It's if you look at the gauge, it's the display that's at the sort of 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock position. there's a level crossing. Anyway, it gives you the up and down, you know, like if you're going uphill, downhill, and what the gradient is in a percentage, which I don't understand. And I also don't understand if it said, say, 1 in 4 or 1 in 5, you know, like the old British standard road signs used to do, rather than percents. But it's always, I haven't seen it as high as 2 yet, but you can tell that the train will sometimes start running away or slowing down quite substantially, and you have to have the throttle on or the brake on to compensate, which I haven't really experimented with in prior videos. I've just been concentrating on sort of playing the game and finding out how it all works. You can see that the speed there, the number 27 and then to 28 it went red. That means I'm exceeding the speed limit, and I don't think you get your XP. You get, every now and then it'll give you some XP. It must be like a milestone thing, and if you're exceeding the speed limit, it doesn't seem to give you it. If you're in the sort of yellow range, it seems to give you it, but I'm not sure if it gives you as much. See, that's 4750. It's been there for quite a while now, and I think we're coming up to a stop quite soon. I'm still liking playing it, but it's the downloadable content from it's the West Somerset Railway, and it's in Britain. West Somerset. Actually, I think that might have been pirate. Yeah, if you're not aware, in this country, that's sort of down south from where I live. And we regard them as sort of a bit rednecky, a bit what Americans would call a redneck, you know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you know what it's like. We all stereotype each other in such an unpolitically correct way, because you can't do that anymore, can you? Not allowed to have fun and tell jokes unless it's passed through with a committee of newspeak. Yeah, this is where I've got to stop, and I'm actually still going quite fast, aren't I? So I'm hitting the brakes and hoping it's going to stop. You see, there's like, I think you see the shaded areas there, it's going from red, amber to green. I think that actually makes a difference, because as soon as you stop the train anywhere in that area, that's it, you've stopped. And even if you go forward further, as soon as your wheels stop rolling, the game assumes you've stopped. And I think you get different amounts of XP. Well, you'll be able to tell what if you actually do end up watching this to end, because some of the marks I'm going to hit quite close where I'm supposed to stop. I'm probably going to be quite close on this one, I think, from memory, judging by the speed I'm going. And some of them I missed by quite a lot, because some of the stations have a steep uphill or downhill into them, and some of it can be a bit sneaky. It changes just before you get there as well, so you might stop short, or the train might be running on further than you think it's going to do, and then you have to hit that emergency brake and that other brake, which I'm not sure. I still haven't done the test yet to see if they both stop you equally, but I suspect there's a difference, otherwise there wouldn't be two different brakes, would there? Yeah, about 5 or 6 yards short there it was. I couldn't see what the XP was that were given there, because the little screen I'm looking at is too small. I remember 444 came up a lot though, I seem to remember. So I get out and have a look, you see, because I know that some people like to see where collectables and stuff is, and plus it's just, it wrecks it up a little bit, doesn't it? You're not looking at the same thing all the time. Dunster. Oh, I missed a poster there. I saw that. It was just like a blank frame on a wall and there's a fire bucket there. Ooh, filled the fire bucket. You can't get through that gap. It just won't let you. Can hear my little footsteps. You can see the amount the passengers have loaded. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with this game. It's quite relaxing to play it, and it's one of them games. There's just something about it. I don't know what it is, but I'm just enjoying it. It's not frustrating, you know. You get these games and you're forever having to mash buttons and do stuff constantly. And I suppose that's the point of having a game, isn't it? That you're doing stuff. Yeah, that's that brake that's on, isn't it? That's why you see the air pressure going down in that gauge. It's just gone down to the 6 o'clock position. Should be ready to go now. And I keep jumping out the seat because I'm trying to look at the cameras, you see, and the train's rolling back, but I hadn't really noticed it because I've let the brakes off, and I'm using the external view to drive the train. Oh look, it's got, I wonder if that's a different number every time. That's full, like Foo Fighters full. Yeah, it's rolling back and I ain't really got it to go anywhere yet, have I? So I'm going back to the driver's seat to see why it's not running. That's the brake that's on. I've got the throttle on full. So I'm trying to work out why it ain't going here. Yeah, you got to turn that to off, and yeah, I think that's what it is. You could see the power going up in that. It's just gone up in that dial that's got the green and yellow on it on the right there. I think I'm just trying to get an external view when I put the power on to see what it looks and sounds like as you're setting off. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I think it sounds pretty good. Sounds realistic. Sounds like a great big train. Which is what it is. See, it's already going over speed, or over the speed limit, and I'm not that far from station. What I like about this, I remember it's same with the farming simulator games. The time of day always sort of looks like the time of day it's supposed to be. This is going on for 6 o'clock, between 5 and 6 o'clock, so that's sort of tea time or dinner time if you're posh in summer, and it does actually look like that. I've had a lot of nights that look like this, and them sort of nights that you really enjoy. You know, you'll sit out, or you'll go to a pub, or you'll go out playing with your kids, or you'd be out when you were a kid playing with your mates and in big school holidays. And it's got that sort of look about it. So I experiment a little bit as well in this, on this run through, on this scenario, with using the outside view and the cameras while operating the train as well. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad looking overall. It's just I think the texture detail lets it down a little bit. The modelling's really nice, but I'd like to see it sharper. The image quality sharper. Everything just looks a little bit soft, like it's in soft focus. And if you look at some of the texturing on them trees, they do a bit of a farm simulator on them, and the textures are drawing in when you're very, very close to them. And again, you know, this game isn't one of them. You're not doing 400 mile an hour at speed of sound in a flight simulator here, or 200 mile an hour in a Grand Prix car that's burning round corners, pulling sort of 3 or 4 Gs and stuff like that. You know, where you've got to move a lot of data really fast. It's not like that. This is it. I'm open window. That changes the sound quite a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's all right complaining about the graphics and that lot, but you don't really know. I don't know as a non-programmer what they've got to do. But all I know is other companies seem to manage it and do quite a good job of it. I suppose it's going to depend on budget. But a lot of them use each other's engines and that, don't they? Like the Unreal engine and that. I think one of the nicest games, graphically, that I've played out on this generation of console, which I've probably said before, I'm extremely disappointed with, due to lack of innovation. And they've got all this power and they don't seem to really want to use it. Is Witcher. That Witcher game. Is it Project Red or CD Red or something like that? Done a great job in it. I think they're going to bring another one out this year, but it's going to be one. I think it might be some sort of cyberpunk thing or post-apocalyptic thing. They're all jumping on that one, aren't they? Post-apocalyptic stuff. It's all biblical in it. There's a bit of sand there and sea. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they all seem to do that. Because there must be some lead time. And they all seem to do the same thing at the same time, don't they? I wonder what makes them do that. They're all going for this post-apocalyptic thing this year, aren't they? I think, is it Far Cry? Mind you, that's just going to be a reskinned Far Cry 5 by the look of it. Really lazy effort in it, that. We've got last year's game that we did, and then we'll set the next one 17 years in the future, and make it all politically correct, because we'll have a load of women in charge and that lot, and people that you can't tell what gender they are and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that'll be good. And plus, all we got to do then is really just change a few graphics and change the colour palette a little bit. Yeah, that'll be easy, that, won't it? Yeah, we could probably do that in a month or something, I reckon, if we got enough people, and then we'll just sell it at full price a year after. That means we can have 11 months off, lads. Booyah! Let them suckers buy it. They'll buy it, won't they? Yeah, you're desperate for stuff, aren't you? Come February. You've had a boring January where literally nothing's come out, nothing's happened, not even anything on TV, is there? Not that I don't watch TV, but not there. So you're desperate to buy stuff, so people just go, yeah, I'll buy it. Then you got all these people doing these playthroughs out. They get early access somehow, don't they? And you get these little YouTube shills that tell you how good all these games are going to be and all that lot, and they walk you through it, never pointing out that there isn't actually any game there and it's full of bugs. And if it's on PC, they've probably got the most stupendously powerful system that there is. But they don't mention all that stuff, do they? They just tell you how good it all is, so that as soon as it comes out... Oh, and strangely, sometimes there's a hold back on the reviews, isn't there? You can't actually see a review until the day of purchase, can you? So that if you pre-ordered it, or you've been impatient, ooh, can you get suckered there? They can really have your eyes out with that one. I'm going to find a poster here, but I don't realise I've done it, but it's made the sound, but it was there on the side. It says West Somerset in my best yokel accent. Like I said, yokel's like a redneck. It's a real term of endearment. Yeah. Ooh, I was on a rant there, wasn't I, about games? Just for a change. I can rant about all kinds of things. Except we're not really allowed to now, are we? We're not really allowed to say what we think anymore, are we? We're not even allowed to tell jokes properly. You've got to have a certain list of things, especially if you go into a place where there's a load of students and that lot, because they've got the safe space there, haven't they, where they don't want to wear out that's going to possibly upset them. So they'll have their little list of things that you can and can't say, otherwise they'll be offended, or they'll take offence on someone else's behalf, and they'll be all incandescent with rage and demanding people get executed and things. You know they are. They don't realise that when you start pushing your liberal views and stuff like that, it just basically ends up with you being like a Nazi, doesn't it? Or a dictator, you know, where you're not going to take any other view with your own. Of course, they're non-violent until it comes to something that they don't like, and then all of a sudden, yeah, they're at it, aren't they? Yeah, I'm not going down that road. I'm going down this road, a railroad. Over speed again slightly. I can't tell the gradient on this little screen, but you can tell on that little dial, the little speedometer, it's quite easy to see if you're increasing speed or decreasing speed, and when you're at a certain speed, obviously it says 7.9 or whatever, but once you get above that, you know, you're in double digits, it stops giving you the point whatever. And you can then, yeah, the speed limit's changed so I can go faster. You can actually see the needle of the dial going up or down. It's quite well done. You just got to look out for it moving up and down slowly. But it's quite easy to see once you sort of get tuned into it. You can see the times. The time's quite tight, even though the distance is short, because you've got acceleration time and you've got deceleration time. Plus, you're not really, you know, because I've not played it that much, you're not sure how quick or slow the train's gonna slow down. Because what seems to go on is when you initially put the brakes on, you just seem to get nothing. Now I can understand a bit of air pressure has to decrease or increase, whichever it is. And there'd be a bit of a delay, so it'd be like a bit like if you're in an aeroplane and you're chasing your altitude by using the vertical speed indicator in your aircraft, you know, chasing that about. You never get straight and level, do you? You always end up wallowing up and down. It's like being on a big dipper or roller coaster if you're American. So sometimes you've got in this, because of the gradient, I think this one's uphill, because there's quite a lot of power on there and I'm still only doing 24 miles an hour. Yeah, this is almost definitely going uphill. I can hear the motor as well. Yeah, I like the lighting. It does look like that time of day, doesn't it? Oops. I'm sorry about that. I got a pop filter, and that sits in front of my microphone, and now instead of popping it, I'm just going to be hitting that when I move my arms about, which is what I just did. You could clearly hear the stereo then when I turn that camera around, so if you listen to this with headphones on, that might make your head twist a bit, so it certainly did mine. Can be really weird sensation. Yeah, that looks a little bit frame rate droppy there, didn't it? I don't know if that'll be interesting. But on the computer while I've been editing it, that bit where the train were approaching looked like the frame rate were dropping. And it can do that in game as well. It does feel like the frame rate drops sometimes, even though we're only doing 23 miles an hour. But there's certain movements the game's not liking then. And it's got a lot of stuff to draw, because it can't have too much to do with physics, this, can it? That's got to be quite easy. And there's the overhead map, which you can zoom in and zoom out. You can zoom in so you can sort of like see a basic imagery of your train and carriages. This might be the one where I get taken slightly by surprise. The station, just, even though there's a distance and everything, one of the stations you come to is round a bend, and there's a bridge like this, but all of a sudden the station's there, and you're thinking, oh dear, I'm not sure this is going to stop. Because if you don't stop, sort of a red signal on the far side of the station, I think, or on some of them there certainly is, and it's just instant fail at the scenario. Don't give you any warning, it's just bye bye, and it boots you out. You don't even get your XPs or anything. Can be quite harsh like that. Mind you, it is only a game. You can kind of see you going uphill there, I think. A little bit. Yeah, I think I've realised now I'm doing, 22 mile an hour is not fast, but when you've got a huge tonnage of train. Anyway, no one needs to worry, it's not that much of a drama. So I'm thinking, if you stop in that where that red marker is there, see, because we're going uphill, it stopped quite quick. If you stop where that red marker is there, or rather where that red space is, it'll tell you to open the doors, and then it'll give you the XP for whatever score you're going to get. So you can't move forward to where you should be and hope you're going to increase your score. You've got to stop on the mark as close as you can first time, or I think you actually lose XP. I'd have to test that a little bit more, or maybe you can tell by looking at the video as it goes, But 444 kept coming up quite a lot when I stopped at a station. I've got 8270. Because sometimes you get some funny numbers there. Like it'll be 8278, and I think that's an odd number, isn't it? Having an 8 at the end of it, or a 7 or something. Should always be like a 0, shouldn't I think. It's a bit like World of Tanks when it gives you 1 XP because it thinks it's being funny. On one of these ops that you do, like they did the thing at Christmas, naughty and nice, and if it's naughty, it's like 1 XP. Yeah, thanks World of Tanks. I'll probably get back to World of Tanks a little bit. I'll speak about that a bit because it's so annoying and it's so good sometimes. Yeah, I've just missed that mark by 5 yards, and then I got some amount of XP that I can't actually tell because I can't actually remember what that last number is. Yeah, see, it's done it now. 8711 XP, top right hand corner. Load passengers. Am I going to get out? Yes, I am. Yeah, it definitely has a blurry, soft imagey look about it. New fire bucket. Boom! Scored. Like that, I sounded kind of gangster then, didn't I? Meh. Not that much of a gangster, I can't go down there. I can't get through here either. But I'm gangster and I'm gonna poop with that, mate. I'll bang a 9 in your line. I'm all poet, man. That's me gangster, mate. I do what I want, when I want, I'll want. Period. No, that's not really very gangstery, that, is it? I don't know why people look up to them. Every film that you see. Yeah, I've paused it here because I saved the game and I do and then I stop the capture
and then I start it again, but you won't be able to tell because I'm so clever at editing. But I left a little bit in there, like it just, you'd have seen a little cut if you were watching. You can be extremely accurate with this this software that I use, Cyberlink Power Director, and it's probably one of the only ones you can actually get that's any good as an amateur, because the rest of them you need to have a really I can't remember what it's called, but you have to subscribe to it. You know, they love you subscribing to stuff now, don't they? You can't just own stuff. They like to lease it to you, so they're having a drip out your wallet every month. Oh, you subscribe to this? It's only £5, and we'll send you pictures of the dog as it grows up, or you know, fill in the blank: rhino, giraffe, lion, other endangered species, or something that looks really cute. It's never somewhat horrible looking, is it? It's never like, I can't think of how horrible, like an insect, because there's loads of them that's endangered as well, isn't there, supposedly? Yeah, look at this horrible centipede thing, or this terrifying scorpion. Ooh, it's endangered. Please subscribe. Send it £10 every month and we'll send you pictures of it growing up with its family. You know, in the desert or wherever it's gonna live, crawling up walls, going around stinging stuff and eating it. Yeah, you don't get that, do you? It's a cute little bear cub, and they are cute, aren't they? Of course they're cute. I'm doing a rant, aren't I, over charity? Never mind, I'm not going to rant about charity. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just they want to leech money off you all the time, don't they? I think there's quite a lot of dishonesty involved in some of them. When you look at where the money goes to some of these countries, you know, it's there to find. If you want to find it, you can find that sort of thing out, and it doesn't make pleasant reading or viewing even. I'm not sure, but the speed is decreasing. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on then. I'm trying to look desperately at that box because I can hear the brakes going. There's a part in it where I'm braking quite a lot and the train's still increasing speed, and now I'm thinking, I wonder how the train brakes actually work, because if you did that in a car, I actually learned to drive cars quite well, and it was part of my job basically, and there were times when I'd arrive somewhere having been driving quite fast and the brakes were basically smouldering, and if it were dark you could actually see them glowing like a cherry red colour. Well, it's a dull red colour, not like bright red, and they don't like to brakes on cars and presumably trucks as well, so I'm not really experienced on trucks, but they have brake linings. They don't like to work when they start getting hot. They want to be warm or they want to be hot up to a certain point, but they've got an operating temperature. You know, just say it was sort of 50 centigrade to like 200 centigrade, just as a figure. They'll work well within them ranges, but when it's colder, it doesn't work as good. And when it's hotter than 200, it's going to be much hotter than that, by the way. If it's hotter than 200, the performance of the brake will start degrading, right up to the point where you just will hardly get any braking force at all, and you can get things like the brake fluid boiling in the pipes and things like that. And then when that happens, your brake pedal basically goes to the floor in the car, and it stops even attempting to stop the car, which you get through. That's why they have vented brake discs and stuff like that. But it's only if you're on and off the brakes. In a normal driving, you should never do that in a car. In a truck, maybe, because you'd be going downhill. And I know they've got air reservoirs, aren't they, playing with the horn there, because they used to run out of it. I think you can run out of air in a truck. and they're air brakes on a train. But I was thinking, I went off on a bit of a tangent there. I was thinking, these train brakes, when you're going downhill, they've got to get pretty damned hot. Because they've got to do something. If they put too much on, obviously the wheels are just going to slide along the rails. And then the thing that's hardest isn't going to get that much of a flat spot on it. I suspect the wheels are probably harder than the tracks then, aren't they? Otherwise you get, if you stopped real quick and slid the wheels, you get flat spots on them. And you get flat spots on, I hadn't actually counted, but it'd be a lot of wheels, wouldn't it? And then when you were driving down the track with the flat spots on every wheel, and bearing in mind that when you go around corners, one side goes faster than the other. This is where I think the station's taken me by surprise. And now I'm trying to brake with everything that I've got. But it's alright, I make it. No drama. I think I can't remember if we're going uphill on that bit, because again I can't see on this little display. Yeah, if you were going back to the flat spot in all your wheels, imagine the noise that'd make when you were driving. It'd rattle your teeth a bit, wouldn't it? You wouldn't be able to see where you were going, there'd be so much vibration. Yeah, if I stop in that red bit there, it'll count me as being stopped and want me to unload passengers. So 9961, I won't remember that. I just know what. I just wonder how much XP I'll get for this. So I'm 9961 at the moment. I'm bound to forget that. And here we go with the brake. That says straight brake as well. I wonder what a straight brake actually is. You've also got a throttle position. There we go. Now we're going to unload. So you press and hold the left bumper. Sorry, the left D-pad. And then you unlock the one there. I'm going to go out and have another look, see if there's any collectibles. I'm running. There's a bit of Forrest Gump there. Look at that old style lamp, see reflection on it. Yeah, that's not bad, is it? Obviously things look nice. No smoking, fancy that, eh? No smoking there. Is this supposed to be set in 60s when the trains are made? Because if it is, there's no way you'd have no smoking signs. Even kids used to smoke. Except me, I didn't smoke. Not till I was 23. And then when I did it professionally. 80 Marlboro a day. And then I went on to roll-ups. I smoked 80 Marlboro a day, even if I didn't go to a pub. If I went to the pub, you could possibly double that. I think it was like a smoking machine. Not a smoke machine. The smoke machine's quite handy for making films though, which I do. Little films. On a very tight budget. Yeah. You can, there's where I cut it. Yeah. Because I stopped capturing, I can't remember how long, probably 38 minutes I'd got up to on the Xbox. You can go longer, but I decided, you know, not to take the chance. 40 minutes invested into it. Because sometimes, even though it tells you it's recording, it don't, or I'm missing the point, or I'm doing something that's stopping it recording and not realising I'm doing it. Because you can take screenshots and things like that, and I'll have to test that actually if while you're recording, if you take a screenshot, if that stops it recording. Yeah, that's a good thing, I'll test that. But I won't remember. Like I didn't remember how many XPs I had and now I've got 11,248, and I know I had 9,000 and something, but that looks like a lot of XP there. I didn't go out of the game, I saved the game, stayed in the game, and all I did was stop the Xbox from recording, and then I started the Xbox recording, and then I started the train driving. I've been paused. I think the game was on pause while I was doing that. Now I think I'm going uphill. Yeah, I'm sure I am. When I was playing it didn't look like I was going uphill, but looking at this little window on the computer, it kind of does look like it's going uphill. By little window, I mean the little window in the software that I'm using to edit it. Well, that's zoomed right in to where the train is. Yeah, you can hear the engine. I've got it on, I think, on maximum. Yeah, I've definitely got that maximum, and it's not accelerating. I have to look away to cough then. I like the engine sounds in this. It is good. It took some working out for the different gradients of how much throttle you need to maintain your speed. Obviously on the flat it's quite easy, but you see I'm over speed now, and I can't really see the gradient. I can see that it looks like it's possibly going uphill, and oh, I've made a mistake again. Look how fast I'm going, and I'm in the red boxes already. I was actually quite worried here that I was going to blow through that signal, but all of a sudden it just seemed to, the brakes seemed to bite. But then again, it is reliant on air pressure. I managed to just keep it going because I used the controller, pull the trigger to give it maximum throttle, even though the brakes are on. So they'd be cooking now, wouldn't they, them brakes? They'd be getting really hot. Yeah, train brakes must get incredibly hot, especially if they're going downhill and you actually having to hold the train back. And you get some of these, them Japan, well, there's some in UK that'll do. For the past few years I've been on them, they used to do 125 mile an hour. They were called Intercity 125 because they did 125 mile an hour. That's when 100 mile an hour meant something. I think there's some Japanese ones that do quite a lot more, isn't there? And they lean over when they're going round corners. We tried that in this country, and for some reason, even though we are a good engineering country, I used to be an engineer when I left school, did my apprenticeship and all that in it. Yeah, we're good at engineering, and yet, well, there's a picture there, and yet we totally fail on some things because apparently we can't afford anything in this country and we're useless, so we're told. That's why we have to get labour from elsewhere because we're not good enough. Another fire bucket. Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? A few years ago we were best in the world, weren't we? And all of a sudden we need other people now to help us because we're just not good enough anymore. I wonder if it's something to do with this diet. It must have really dropped our IQs. But I mean, if they're telling us that, it must be true. They wouldn't lie to us, would they? Governments and stuff. I hope it doesn't drop anymore. We won't be able to play games, will we? We'll be going, what's this? I don't know how to switch. I don't know how to switch that on. I don't even know what it is. What you say? It's called some sort of games console, is it? No, I don't understand that. It's beyond me. It's beyond me. I don't know how to use that. That controller. It's too complex. That's the thing that lets these games down, I think, is the controller. Need better controllers. Obviously you've got to have the analog sticks for simulations and stuff, but the controllers need to be a lot more complicated. I know there'd be a bit of a learning curve, but basically you're having games with, and you've got context sensitive buttons all the time, haven't you? And some of these games, they don't really know. You want to do one thing and then it senses that you're near something else, and it makes you leap off a ledge or something like that, or it makes you stand up when you should be in cover, or vice versa. So if you're ever fighting the sort of logic of the game, aren't you? I say logic broadly, very loosely. Some of them have no logic at all, do they? See, it's quite pretty in its own way, isn't it? Nice bit of blue sky as well. And that's why I wanted to play this scenario. By the way, if you hadn't realised, I bought the DLC last week for this, and the German one, I can't remember what it is, something Nord or something like that. I've had a little go on it, and of course, first scenario, obviously, bug on it straight off. I found a bug on this one as well, where you load the passengers. It hadn't happened in this film, so I wouldn't subject it to that. You just load I never found a solution with either other than just unloading the game and reloading it. When you load the passengers, as you've seen quite often now, and then you go to close the doors and lock the doors, you lock the doors and then it just sits you there, doesn't give you another objective. So I wasted quite a bit of time on that one. And I couldn't be, I'm not playtesting it for them. I don't like playtesting games for companies. I'm not, you pay me, I'll do it. I'll gladly do it for a job. And I'll find all your bugs as well, because I'm used to looking for them. And I know how to work around them. If it's possible to find a workaround, I'll find one. Short of I won't hack into the program, obviously, because I'm not any good at that, but I've been a long time playing games and making them work on systems like old PCs and stuff like that, Windows and DOS, and with and without mouse, different versions of Windows, different versions of DOS, different sort of memories, extended, expanded memory card, not memory cards, sound cards, graphics cards. Oh, it used to be quite a challenge just getting a game to work. Does this one have expanded or extended memory? I can't remember. I've got the latest driver, because that'll make it freeze and you can't use your mouse. Blah 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 blah. But that's how it used to be. That's why I started playing consoles. I got sick of that crap. And now we're at a stage where console games are getting like that. They're putting stuff out and going, screw them. They've paid. They can wait. They can wait. They've paid the money. Make them wait. I don't care if it works or not. We got it out the door. We didn't allow any reviews before anyone bought it, and they've all bought it like lemmings, and it doesn't really work, does it? Ha ha ha. Well, we're going on holiday now. We might fix it when we come back, because we've got all the money off them, so we can now afford to go on holiday. Shredded suet, it said there. Use pure concentrated coffee. Cocoa. One of them has Robertson's shredded marmalade, and I'm sure that was real, because there is such a thing as Robertson's marmalade. Or was it marmalade? I can't quite remember. It's marmalade's posher, isn't it? And there's a poster. Ooh, West Somerset. Nope, still sounds piratey. Willetton. That reminds me of Willetton Flats in Quatermass. That was made in 1956. I don't remember. I wasn't born in 1956, but I've got the BBC like lost tape sort of thing. All the surviving episodes of this black and white series that they filmed live quite a lot, and called Quatermass. Well, there was Quatermass Experiment, Quatermass 2. I think there's the first thing that ever had a 2 behind it. Because you have films that'll have like Aliens and Alien, and some films just blatantly go like Back to the Future 2. You know what I mean? I think it was probably one of the first things that were ever made that had a 2 behind it, and then it was Quatermass and The Pit, all of which are classic television. A bloke called Nigel Neal written them. I was going to say, hey, that's not proper English, is it? It's proper enough. 50 minutes. Can't remember how long this is, but it is quite long, this one. I'm not too worried though, because obviously you don't have to watch it. Like, I don't have to do it, I just do it. At least I get to test my pop filter. It'd be nice if you could actually see out that window when you were stood up. Oh look, the lights work. There's one at the other side. Of course there is. Symmetry. Ooh, symmetry. The origins of symmetry. It's all physics, is that? Look at symmetry in physics. Very interesting. It's not a subject for now though. Muse did the band Muse did an album, CD, whatever you want to call it, called Origin of Symmetry. Pretty good as well. I like Muse. But the thing about them, they're either incredibly good or I hate it. It's a bit like Will Ferrell. He can be hilarious, or I'll just sit there going, that isn't even slightly funny, mate. What were you thinking? That's just not funny. In fact, it's making me feel cringy. It's embarrassing. I guess that's what so, you know, we call them geniuses sometimes, don't we? Mind you, that bloke in Muse, he's like the, you know, if you're actually into guitar playing, I can play, and I don't anymore though. And you listen to him play, and it's like, you know, if you go back and listen to some Jimi Hendrix, you know, there's like guitar playing before Jimi Hendrix, and then there's guitar playing after Jimi Hendrix, and you'll see the big change where everyone tried to copy, like Eric Clapton. If you look up Eric Clapton, he's quite good, but when he saw Jimi Hendrix and the bloke out of Beatles, George Harrison, I think they both looked at him and had a conversation like, this Eric Clapton and George Harrison. I think we're going to have to learn how to play guitar properly now, after seeing Jimi Hendrix. Anyway, Matt Bellamy, I would say, because you've got your Steve Vais and all them sort of people, you know, that can play, really, really good players. They're just so proficient. But they don't bring out new to the table, do they? Other than speed and proficiency. But Matt Bellamy out of Muse, he does different stuff. And if you listen to him, he's a genius. He's probably the best guitar player since Jimi Hendrix, in my opinion. There was probably someone before Jimi Hendrix as well, but I'm not old enough to know that. Well, I'm old enough because I could have heard it, couldn't I? You know, if it's recorded. I can't listen to things in future, but I can listen to stuff in past. I probably didn't come across it or didn't understand it. You know, it's like you got them old blues players from 20s, 30s and 40s, like Robert Johnson and all that lot. I think they changed things, or they changed the way music went. I've gone off on a complete tangent. I think I'm going uphill. I think I'm 80% going uphill. 80% throttle, that is, going uphill. And it's holding the speed. If I'd have been paying attention and not talking about guitar players, I'd probably realise what was going on, which would be more interesting for you watching a video. You know, if we were watching stuff about guitar players, I wouldn't be talking about trains, would I? I wouldn't be saying, look at this, you need on this gradient, this 1.5% gradient, you need to keep your throttle at 80%, otherwise you'd slow down and you're going to be late. Not late as in the late Jimi Hendrix was buried in 1970, but late as in you know, he'd be a couple of minutes late. Although if you're going too fast, it could end up like that, couldn't it? That'd be a good advert, wouldn't it? Don't be late. You know when they do these don't drink and drive adverts and don't speed? Don't be late. Yeah. What do you mean go faster? No, we mean don't go faster. We mean go slower. But I'll be late then. No, you're misunderstanding. Don't be late as in the late John Smith will be buried next Tuesday, leaving behind a wife and 3 children. Yeah, that's very clever, you'd say, but it's also not very nice, is it? And we don't want to watch things like that. We just want to watch a bit of telly. Yeah, okay. We won't do the advert then, because you might find it offensive. I've gone off on another tangent. I'll have to stop doing that. I'm doing 70% now and I'm doing below the speed limit. And I'm 56 minutes into this video and I'm still talking. I do not know what I find to talk about. I didn't realise I was just a blabbermouth. Mind you, my missus would probably say something different to that, wouldn't she? She'd say, what do you mean? You're always talking, you never shut up. And I'd say, what do you mean? And she'd say, there you go, you're still talking, aren't you? And then I'd have something to say in reply. And then she'd say, you've always got to have the last word, haven't you? And I'd say, no. And then she'd say, see? Obviously I'd have something to say. What we're doing here, 80, I've probably got the throttle set about 80%, I think. And I'm maintaining 25 miles an hour. Look, I like the way the sun goes through the trees like that. It's very realistic. And the shadows and that you get. I would really like to see, because you want to see the really pretty graphics would be nice on this. I mean really pretty, you know, like Witcher standards, and you know, stupidly beautiful sunsets and stuff like that, like you got in Witcher. I'd be playing that game, that Witcher, and I'd just stop because I used to smoke. I only stopped smoking recently. Well, I went to them vaping things, and sometimes I'd like get a cup of coffee. That's the other thing I've gone off. I gone off coffee. I stopped smoking and went off coffee, and I used to love it. Like 3 spoons instant coffee only, you know, because there's only, you know, it's like you get a certain coffee that you like, don't you? You know, you're talking to a bloke who instantly addicted to cigarettes, and also instantly addicted to coffee probably. They just got stronger and stronger. No milk obviously because it dilutes the coffee. 3 big spoons of coffee, 3 big spoons of sugar, and a few cigarettes for breakfast. Yeah, good idea. Anyway, I would sit in Witcher thinking, oh, that's a nice view. I would just sit drinking a cup of coffee, looking at it, watching the sunset. I even did time lapses. I've got them somewhere. I don't know if they're on YouTube or not actually, but I sort of like did time lapses, the rudimentary time lapses. I'm just blasting through a station here. I haven't ruined the scenario. It's just that I don't have to stop there. Yeah, but Witcher 3 were really nice. It's funny that, oh, my chair's creaking. It's one of them crappy office chairs. It's funny, these games that I play, these open world games, I think everyone likes them because they're all going open world. There's always somewhere in them, and I think, oh, this is a nice place to be. Oh yeah, I'd like to live here. Or this, if I were a kid, I'd like to play there. That'd be just sort of place I'd got my little toy cars out, and I'd be playing there, you know, or whatever. Or I'd like to have dug a hole there. But there's these places, I don't know what it is in games, and you just think, oh, I really like it. There was a place in Farming Simulator 15 right top of this hill by an artesian well, and I thought, oh, I just like it here. And I'd sit up there like watching the in-game sunset, having a cup of coffee and a couple of smokes and just relaxing. And I used to really enjoy doing that. That's only like a couple of years back, 3-4 years back. And for some reason, you come across these places in like Grand Theft Auto. What was the other one? Was it the really good Godfather game, the first one? I can't remember what it was, on Xbox 360. I think it was a Godfather game. Oops! Ooh, I punched me pop filter. It's causing more noise than me popping it. The whole point of this pop filter is that you're supposed to not cause noise. You're supposed to stop it from popping. Pop, 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 pop. You see, that was with and without. But I just knuckled it basically while I'm reminiscing about Godfather. And there was places in that, even that game. It was a really good open world game. And it's just a little bit disappointing that we're not having that standard of game now. And I don't know why. It's just like the programmers just don't seem to want to do it. There was a time where it looked like we're going to have some really fantastic games. But it's just been reduced to just mashing buttons and cut and paste and just, you know, copy and paste this bit into that bit, and everyone wants to copy this. Oh look, let's all have these battle royale games we're into now, aren't we? And everyone and his brother's got it. Just have some Matt Bellamy, have some innovation, do something different, experiment, even if it turns out to be crap. Someone didn't. I didn't buy it. I watched a review on it. Someone did a game about a deaf person, and they must have just thought to themselves, "Wow, this is awesome." You know, people are really going to appreciate this game. Unfortunately, there was no sound in it. It was completely silent, and there was fighting and all sorts of things. It just looked ridiculous. But someone sat round the table and done the game design. You know, because they don't just turn up with a game. It's like everything. You know, if you want to design something, if you want to make a little film, you know, like a 10-minute film, it could take ages to write that. So making a game's got to be similar to filmmaking, and everything has to be planned in advance. It doesn't just happen. So someone at some stage has sort of sat there and green-lit all this. You know, it's the same with every game. You'll find some of these strange decisions that's made in games. Some of them due to laziness, and some of them due to that they don't care. But some basic design elements that you think, how has that been passed through with that committee? How the hell? What were you all on to get that into a game? You know, something so repetitive. I can't give you an example now, but I'm sure you've all come across one where someone's thought, oh, like, I don't know, Red Dead Redemption, where you've got to put crosses in, like, make dum-dum bullets, and you have to sit there in front of a fire in Red Dead Redemption 2, and you don't even really see it happening. It's just like a little animation of him making dum-dum bullets, but you do them singly, so you might have to press your controller button 200 or 300 times and watch a little animation just so you can spam ammunition at some enemy that turns up in the game. I mean, who thinks that is ever going to be fun? And you've even got like there's even an animation for drinking a cup of coffee, and this is all stuff that they've put into the game, and someone's thought, oh yeah, that's good, that's great, people are going to love this. How many bullets are you going to fire in that game? Well, I'd admit, well, they've took stats out of it. I'm ranting again. They've took stats out of it so you can't tell, but I know for a fact in other Grand Theft Auto games I've made thousands upon thousands of kills and probably fired somewhere in excess of 100,000 bullets. And that's a lot of button presses, isn't it? You know, on top of the button presses to fire the bullets. No wonder his controllers are burning out. Are they in league with hardware manufacturers? Let's see how many times we can get these losers to press the buttons on the mouses or the controllers. I mean, this game, when you load it, all games it's the same now, I've noticed this, it's a bit of a trend. One of the records was, I think it was Toy Soldiers or something like that. You had to press the A button on the Xbox controller something like between 12 and 15 times to get into actually playing a game. Some of them, you'll get a loading screen that'll stop and make you press a button for another loading screen that then makes you press another button to get to the main menu. And this unfortunately is one of them games that does that. Don't do it that much, but it does do it. It gives you the health and safety warning about being on a railway. Who do they think they are? These companies. You know, I don't need you to tell me that I need to not do X, Y, Z. And I'm not driving the train either, mate, because I'm not a train driver. I'm playing a game. Just stop holding my hand all the time and stop making me press buttons to get into a game. I remember on PC, sometimes you could even stop the intro if you want. There was like a tick box somewhere. You can in your settings, don't play the opening video. You know, so your game you won't be wearing your hard disk out while it's loading all this rubbish about showing you a film. It's 2 minutes long, you know, the intro for the game, which is fair enough. First couple of times you might want to watch it, but you know, if you load it 100 times, 200 times, you don't want to sit there, do you, for 2 minutes every time? That's like 400 minutes. So you want to skip it, don't you? Not watch it all the time. There used to be a facility on a lot of games to actually not do that. Oh, I've overshot a little bit there. Yeah. But not anymore. They just want you to press buttons. You even get them on Xbox, like, who are you? Well, actually, it's me. I'm on my own Xbox. Why are you asking me who I am? How come you don't know that I'm playing on my own Xbox? You know, it's like, stop hassling me. This is supposed to be fun. Ooh, I've gone off on another rant, and I haven't talked about World of Tanks. Maybe next time. That is one annoying game when it wants to be. Because you see, again, you know, they interfere with it. It's not like you think to yourself, alright, I'll just shoot that other guy over there. Well, think again. Think again. You might think you've shot him, but in actual fact we're making the shell go over there by quite a long way. And then you're going to say, but it was literally 10 yards away, he was right in front of me, my barrel was pointing at him, I can't possibly have missed him. They go, yeah, you did. Yes, you did, because it said nothing. It didn't even say shot bounced, just nothing. I'm going off on one, aren't I? I can't tell if I got I was ranting that much then. I can't tell if I got a collectible. I think it might have been either a fire bucket or a milk churn. But I'm only doing that because I'm making a video. Like I said before, I wouldn't normally do that. But I get seriously nagged with games like World of Tanks and that. I do like playing them. But they're never, it's like the people that make them, they're never happy with how the game is. They're always changing stuff in it. And then, I think it must be written by Russians as well, World of Tanks, because Russian stuff's always better. But that's fair enough, doesn't matter. The thing that annoys me is that it's very blatantly, you're going to lose or you're going to win. And so you got 15 people on each side. Sometimes the score's literally like 15-1, 15-0, which shouldn't happen. You know, you could understand it if you were in sort of, because you have different tiers if you don't know the game. So you got people that are just starting in low tier tanks, and you got up to tier 10 tanks, which I just don't play anymore. I've been playing it the best part of 5 years. But the people that play them just want to sit there protecting the precious things all the time. So the best one is like mid tier, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But in 8s you end up in 10s, you see. That's the problem with it. You're trying to avoid 10s whenever you can. And you can have some really good games, and it's one of them you get a lot of hate mail off it as well, of people. You know, they'll go, you killed me, cry, sending you a message about how much of a whatever you are and what your mother used to be and stuff like that. You know, the usual acidic rubbish that you get from some people. Sometimes you get good stuff as well, but more often than not it's idiots that just don't understand how the game works, or just don't like it when they lose, or think you should be doing things
how they want you to do them rather than how you want to do them. You know, you've been sitting at home and doing what the hell you want in your own room, sort of thing. They decide they're going to try and tell you what to do. Anyway, the game actually interferes with what's going on. That's what I was saying about you fire at someone and the game decides not only if you've hit them but how much damage you've done. So there's a buffer. There's a buffer between them, and what it more often than not does, just for argument's sake, it takes you say 5 shots to destroy someone or 6 shots to destroy someone. Sometimes you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, I need 1 more shot to kill him. No, you're not having it. No, you missed that one. That didn't hit him. Or that one went and bounced. It's like that. And the other thing that happens, it lets someone survive with like 1 or 2 health points. And while they're still surviving, they've still got a functioning gun that they can shoot you with, and they've still got a functioning commander and crew that can spot everybody. And so your whole team and you's taking a load of fire from someone who should have been probably dead 2 minutes ago. You know, and it changes the outcome. And when you look at the stats, you've got stats. I've got like 4 years worth of stats on World of Tanks. It just appears that I've never improved. I've got sort of like 50, 51, 52% win rate, 49% loss rate. What sort of a stat is that? For 4 years, am I that stupid? I never got any better at it. And the funny thing is, when you look at other people's stats, there's a hell of a lot of people that are like that. The exception will be people, if you play in a platoon, you can play with your mate like co-op. If you play 2 of you together, the game seems to screw you. It seems to go out of its way to make you have a really bad time quite a lot. But if you play, I think it can be up to 5. If there's 5 of you cooperating, that's a third of the team. There's only 15 per side. That makes a substantial difference to the outcome of the game. So if you could always go in with a platoon of 5 in top tier tanks, especially, or really good tanks, you're more often than not going to win. I think that is what's going to affect. Some people are going to be slightly better than others as well, but not this. If you look at Call of Duty and Battlefield and some of the other games, there is some interference in them games as well. Don't get me wrong, there is some interference a little bit, but some people just get incredibly good at certain things, like being snipers or firing RPGs or being helicopter pilots and stuff, and they're just better than everyone else. But in World of Tanks, that doesn't happen, and it should. You know, if it's a level, fair playing ground, that should happen, and it doesn't. See, I'm running downhill here. I'm sure I'm running downhill, and it's quite steep, and I'm using the brakes. I was talking about World of Tanks. We're up to 100% braking there. I was on about 70 or 80%, and now the speed is very slowly starting to come down. But look at the air pressure gauges there. That's the two dials. That's it's just one short of the left there. It's got two dials, 2 needles in it. One's facing 9 o'clock, one's facing 3 o'clock, and when I play with the brakes, you'll see that the air pressure goes up and down on them dials. You see them going down there. They've just gone down to like 20 to 20 past. Yeah, still like the lighting on this. No, just got some XP come up. Couldn't see it well. I think it was 50. But then again, I'm sticking to the speed limit. Yeah, I'm not really sure how the XP works in this game. It's just that I'm not sure that if I did this scenario again, I would say end it with 20,000. That I'll get 20,000 again. I think maybe once you've done it, you've done it. But I've not done that many scenarios. And I did one, like I said, from that other DLC. With DLC having a bug in it, that's not forgivable, I don't think. And it was hard to find out the solution as well. Don't even made it easy to do that.
So that's, for me, doing that in a game is a big down marker for you and your company. If you're responsible for that, when people are paying for stuff and you know about it, you better make it right. Because I'd like it to be a situation where having something like that in a game, I could just get a refund off you. If I could get a refund off you for making me do that and wasting 2 hours of my time because you've been lazy and couldn't be bothered to fix something, or couldn't even, it wasn't just that you couldn't bother to fix it, you hadn't even put it so it's obvious to find the fix. You made me really look for it and jump through hoops to do something that should have took me 10 minutes to do it, and it took me basically half a day. And I'd like to be in the position where if you did that to me, I could get a refund if I so felt like it. I bet you wouldn't have any bugs in your games then, would you? I bet they'd all work perfectly out of the box and they wouldn't be released until they were ready. That's what used to be good about them, about the consoles when they started. They wouldn't dare release them with a bug, would they? Like, imagine Nintendo putting a cartridge out, it cost you all that money, and it had a bug that killed it. People would be going, actually, we're not buying any more of your stuff, and they'd have gone bust double quick, wouldn't they? There's a lot of shady practice in games world, isn't there? With the way that they have these internet shills to advertise the games for them without actually they don't have their own advertising budget. Well, they do, but they just pay these shills, don't they, to put stuff on YouTube and tell you how good everything is. And we all fall for it like suckers. Well, I think that might be coming to an end now, because this has been the generation of overhype, hasn't it? This console, and people are pretty fed up of it. Look at Backlash has been with what is it, Battlefield 5 recently, and Fallout 76. Fallout 76, just the last few Fallouts have been pretty bad, haven't they? Let's face facts. It was like he was still playing on. It's like he was still playing in 2005, 2006. Last three of them have been same. They just haven't moved on. I mean, that's just lazy. And then I'm not sure if it's the same company that did Skyrim, and that were amazing. But they've not. Why haven't they done another sort of Skyrim? See, I've just fallen short here, and it's making me do the Passengers now. You know, so I've basically not done very well on that one. I'm moving forward, but I'm not. When I stop, you'll see I don't get any more XP. Taking a bit of a chance as well, because there's a red signal at the end of the day. If I go past that, I'm doomed. It'll be end of scenario. But it does tell you how far away it is. Yeah. I was talking about shady practices, wasn't I? And then stuff with the there's clearly a collectible there. I don't know if I get it or not. Next to shredded suet. Shredded suet. See, that's what made me think it was 60s. You know, that's the sort of advertisement you would get in the 1960s, shredded suet. Give that to your kids. That'll stop them getting rickets. Yeah, there was West Somerset, he says, in his best pirate accent. Was that pirate or farmer? Arr. No, that's pirate. I'm going to have a look, see if there's any more collectibles. This is it, by the way, Final Destination. No, I'm not going to get run over by the train. I mean, Final Destination in the game. Something just suddenly going to come and do me in. Unless that murderer's following me that was in the other thing. Milk churn. Booyah! I'm stoked about that. See, you couldn't go up there. So all this running about in the game. Oh, another poster. Somerset. Look, there's a red phone box down there. This is where this scenario ends anyway, and I get my score. And for once I get a load of green tick marks, and it gives you the timetable and how late you are and all that sort of stuff. And then it runs your XP up for you. Yeah, I sort of enjoyed that. I'd done it a few times as well, because I kept doing it wrong, and then
something else had happened, I hadn't recorded it or whatever, you know. If you've got this far, thanks for watching. I'll probably do another video about these, at least one more. Alright, bye.